So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai Megaplant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
At this time, we are continuing the operation. Arrests are being made, and we will be providing additional details on the outcome of today's operation.
It started with one phone call. A Georgia woman says she called ICE on the entire Hyundai Megasite in Ellabell, near Savannah, and instantly regretted it. She claims workers at the plant were being exploited, paid little or nothing, sometimes living 5 families deep in crowded housing, and even trafficked through subcontractors. In her words, it wasn't about targeting hardworking immigrants, but about stopping what she described as modern-day slavery.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai Megaplant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run.
But when federal agents moved in, the scale of the operation shocked everyone. More than 475 workers were detained, making it one of the largest single-site ICE raids in U.S. history. Among those arrested, over 300 were South Korean nationals, alongside workers from China, Japan, and Indonesia.
Warrant for this entire construction site, okay? We're Homeland Security. We have a search warrant for the whole site. We need construction to cease immediately. We need all work to end on the site right now.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Trank. I'm the Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigation for the state of Georgia. And behind me today, Homeland Security Investigations agents, along with ICE, ERO, the FBI, DEA, ATF, CBP, U.S. Marshals, and Georgia State Patrol conducted a judicially authorized enforcement operation as we are actively conducting an investigation into unlawful employment practices going on at this massive multi-hundred acre construction site behind me. At this time, we are continuing the operation. Arrests are being made, and we will be providing additional details on the outcome of today's operation.
Most were released within days and bused to Atlanta, where a Korean Air 747 flew them home. That's when the backlash began. Local critics said Hyundai had promised jobs for Georgians when it accepted millions in state tax breaks, yet contractors filled positions with foreign workers instead. Some residents even blamed the plant's heavy water use for drying up nearby wells.
I am embarrassed, okay? As a battery scientist and engineer in the United States, we need all the help we can get to build our gigafactories, build our battery factories. And here we had ICE came in and detained Korean Hyundai workers when they're trying to help us establish a battery value chain in North America. If we don't have people from other countries who actually know how to build batteries coming and teaching us Americans how to build batteries, how are we going to build batteries here? How are we going to have an automotive industry? How are we going to be able to maintain our economy? Americans can build batteries, but we don't have enough people that know how to do this. And China leads the world globally when it comes to battery technology, by far. We need to work with Europe and Korea and Japan and other countries to build up this global value chain of batteries. Those Korean Hyundai workers weren't even staying here for very long. They were just coming here to show us the know-how about the equipment and the process and then go back to Korea. They don't want to stay here. Korea's battery industry is booming. It's amazing. Earlier this year, I was in Seoul, Korea at Inner Battery 2025, one of the biggest battery conferences in the world with 80,000 people attending. That's like nearly twice the size as the battery conferences in North America. Their battery conference looks like the Consumer Electronics Show. I mean, look at this Porsche Taycan at the LG Energy Solutions booth. So now you may see why I'm a bit embarrassed. I mean, the United States was funding the battery industry development through the Inflation Reduction Act, but then Trump cut that, okay, cut the parts of it. And so how are we going to get funding? And what are we going to do if we're deporting the people who are trying to help us set up this industry? There's no strategy to this, is there? Like, what's going on? This is embarrassing.
She didn't just call ICE on workers. She called ICE on 85,000 Georgia jobs and basically told South Korea, we cannot be trusted. And now she's running for Congress. The Hyundai LG battery plant wasn't just another factory. It was part of a historical investment. Billions of dollars promised to American job market by South Korea. Think about it. At a time when North Korea is flexing missiles and playing war games, South Korea took a leap of faith, choosing to invest in America, creating clean energy jobs, and partnering with us on future technology. That's not just business. That's diplomatic. That's an alliance. Now here's where it gets messy. The workers in Hyundai were brought in. They were here legally, with work authorizations, all above board. The company did nothing wrong. But when a political stunt like this happens, calling ICE on legal workers, it doesn't just create chaos in Georgia. It makes us look like we cannot keep our word. South Korea said, we'll bring jobs, money, and innovation to America. And this ICE stunt basically set us back. We'll repay you with harassment and betrayal. That's how you lose trust from global partners. That's how you make allies think twice before ever investing here again. So let's be crystal clear. This wasn't patriotism. This was sabotage. She didn't just jeopardize Georgia jobs. She jeopardized America's credibility. And if she's willing to sell out our allies and our economy for a headline, imagine what she'd do in Congress.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
So just to be clear, what you're proud of is hundreds of people being ripped out of a Georgia factory in one of the biggest ICE raids in history. 475 people, most of them South Koreans, were detained. And here's the thing. Hyundai already confirmed none of them even worked directly for Hyundai. Hyundai, that's how you pronounce it, by the way. They were subcontractors. Many were here on expired visas, not illegals hiding in the shadows like you're trying to sell. Translation? You didn't even expose some massive criminal conspiracy. You just disrupted lives, families, and jobs, and you're bragging on here online like it's a badge of honor. Maybe instead of clout chasing ICE, you should chase a history book.
Those of you harassing me over this whole raid at the Hyundai plant.
Her racism caused a $4.5 billion mistakes. She called ISIS on all those Koreans who came to the Hyundai plant that Korea built in America to build cars, Hyundai cars. Her hatred cost a $4.5 or $4.8 billion fucked up. And you know what I love about Korea? Their leader, they sent a plane to come get their people. They're like, oh, send our people back. The president of the United States is causing problems international where a lot of country, they will not want to do business with United States. And this bitch thinks calling ISIS on a bunch of people who are here in a work visa and a business visa to come to make sure everything in the plant is running well. And they are dragging her to filth. Because not only did she just probably cause them to shut down the plant, but she also probably caused a lot of people to be out of jobs as well. And also, it shows that the people that work for immigration, especially the ISIS people, they didn't do their homework. Because if they did do their homework, they will see that those Koreans are there legally to conduct business because their country invested $4.8 billion to build cars in a facility. And Americans, I'm sorry, they're not close to, me, I prefer to buy a Honda, Toyota, cars that are built by the Asians. I will probably buy cars that are built by Africans before I do by Caucasian. Because I know somehow it's going to be fucked up. Somehow they're going to fuck it up. And she's over there saying, well, if you post my children pictures, legal action will be taken. Bitch, nobody care. Your hatred, your racism caused you to call ISIS and a group of people that are here legally to conduct business so they could return back home. And the Korean president was like, yeah, send our babies home. Send them home to us. They are dragging her to hell. They are dragging her to filth. So she's like, I got invited by the Mormons. Of course the Mormons going to invite you. Of course they're going to invite you. Who else going to invite you anywhere? I foutre le ISIS sou Korean yo. Et puis c'est Korean yo qui vini, qui built facility pour yo faire machine Hyundai. Et puis ça le prendre le ISIS et puis ISIS maintenant pas même fait travail même pour yo ouais Korean yo là legally. Quand y a les chita la pas tente. Hey, America have been to no joke.
On the other side, South Korea's leaders were outraged. President Lee Jae-myung warned that Korean companies may hesitate to invest further in the U.S. unless Washington fixes its visa system. Their foreign minister urged the U.S. to treat the workers as voluntary departures instead of deportees to protect their ability to return in the future. Even President Trump weighed in, acknowledging the workers were technically in violation, but suggesting the U.S. still needs foreign expertise in industries like electric vehicle batteries.
Give us your reaction to South Korea's regret, or calling it regrettable, what happened with their workers at the Hyundai plant.
Well, I'll speak to them. Look, it's a battery factory in that case, as I'm told. And, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people to do, complex things, whether it's battery manufacturing or computer manufacturing or building ships. So we're going to look at that whole situation. We have a lot of industries that we don't have anymore, and we're going to have to train people. And the way you train people is bring people in that know what they're doing and let them stay for a little while and help. So I'm going to look at that. It's a very interesting situation that took place in Georgia. And we heard about it yesterday. At the same time, ICE was doing right because they were here illegally. But we do have to work something out where we bring in experts so that our people can be trained so that they can do it themselves. Does that make sense? Right?
Is it straining the relationship with Korea at all?
No, we have a great relationship with South Korea. Really good relationship. We just made a trade deal. But I'm going to look at it because I understand exactly what that's.
For the woman who made that first call, the fallout was personal. She said she faced harassment online, mocked critics in return, and admitted she didn't expect the raid to unfold on such a massive scale.
The only people that are mad about this raid in Ellabell, Georgia at the Hyundai Megasite are probably people that don't pay taxes. Because in 2022, when they signed the agreement to bring that plant here and build it, they were given $32 million in tax breaks to employ Georgians, and they didn't. The Georgians never were hired temp to permanent. They had more of the people apprehended yesterday were Korean. They either were here illegally, overstayed their visas, or it was illegals working for the contractors and on the site. So they got all these tax cuts and never created jobs for Georgians. They get EPA tax cuts, never had any plans for well infrastructure or water. So the water they're using is in turn drying up farmers' wells. And all these surrounding counties are like, well, we have money put back in case we need to put in new wells. Well, who does that fall back on? The taxpayers. And how many cattle or crop have to die before they get it put in if they have to go in and put in those backup wells? It's not benefiting Georgians. And if you're a taxpayer, it should piss you off. You shouldn't be defending it.
Now, the Hyundai ICE raid has become more than a local story. It's a flashpoint for debates about immigration, foreign investment, taxpayer accountability, and the future of America's EV industry. And all of it began with one phone call.